All right. Now we are on to the technical tier list. If you didn't watch my tank tier list, then go watch it. Um, I feel like there's a lot of discussion with the tank role. I think the tank role is actually one of, if not the best role in the game. They have the most like great characters, but technician probably has some of the mid to worst characters, which is pretty weird. Well, not some of, I would say particularly two of them are something else. But yeah, so let's get on to it. Let's get on to it. My technical main, 17. I'm gonna put 17 in B, right? Um, you can't really solo queue with 17. I mean, you could, but like you gotta, it's like a roulette simulator. You gotta hope your teammate understands that you're gonna be like supporting them the whole time, and a certain amount of health they could like stay in because I'm gonna give him a shield. Other than that, he does actually really good damage. It's just he struggles at being targeted, and when somebody targets him, it's gets really really hectic. Like there's another tech on this list that legitimately actually can just hunt other techs down, which is kind of insane. Um, so yeah, that's really it about 17. 17's ult actually is really good. It's a really good supportive and offensive ult. It stops all healing, which only really stops one character from doing anything, which is pretty weird. Um, and then it also stops like that passive heal, that steady healing buff for one of the bosses. But that's really about it. Next we have Gohan. I am going to put Gohan in A. He does a lot of damage. His support's really good. His debuffing's really good. Um, a good Gohan can run away with the game. I'm not even lying, right? You can get snuck by that headbutt move of his. When he pops that ult, you better start running. Because you're somebody if you stay there to fight, there's a good chance you could die from Gohan. And yeah, that's really it about Gohan. I would say his only thing is like, does he do? Does he have good instant damage against bosses? Not really, right? When he pops that ult of his, he becomes stronger. A whole lot of his attacks do more damage, but like compared to even some of the tanks or even 17, it's not as much as theirs. So maybe like bosses he could get like taken away from because it's not instant enough. Um, and we got hit. I'm putting hit in B. I'm putting hit in B above 17. And the reason I'm putting him above 17 is because he can assassinate any DPS and any technical in this game if they're a good hit, right? If they're good, like the fear of hit is kind of insane because like the second I hit like gets to you, just know there's a good chance you're dead, right? But he cannot deal with any of the tanks. Like if a tank even is at half HP, he cannot deal with them, right? He cannot deal with Cooler. He cannot deal with Khalifa. He cannot deal with Baby. He cannot deal with Cell. Probably deal with Cell early game. Actually, you can probably deal with Cell early game. Um, cannot deal with Zamasu and cannot deal with Vegeta. If you have an AOE, you can. If you have an AOE attack, and half of the tanks do, then you can get away from hit. For the technicals, however, not all of them have, you know, AOE attacks. So, and that goes the same thing for a, a small handful of DPSs. Not all of them, because some of them they can completely null and void hit as well. Um, but other than that, if a big team fight's going on, hit kind of doesn't really do anything, right? Because AOE is going to be flying all over the place late game, and there's no surprising somebody with all that, right? So Hit's really good early game, and he can actually stop and stunt characters that need their early game, like Cell, right? Or even Baby. Baby also kind of needs his early game to get going. So yeah, we have Krillin. I think Krillin also goes in A, right? Krillin is a really good like de-orienting character, just like Hit. Hit and him are really similar. However, Krillin does it better, right? Krillin disorients like crazy. He he can randomly kill you with like an energy mine from who knows where. He puts one inside of a cloud that you're about to go hide in, and you can die from it, right? It feels like penny mines from from rivals, but this one you actually can't see it. So like if if you see it and you die from it, that's your fault. But if you didn't know he put that there, and he put that there ages ago, and you die from it, th- that's just Krillin 500 IQ knowledge right there. Then we have Boo. I'm putting Boo in C. He doesn't really do anything. He heals. That's about it. And he slows. That's about it. But he doesn't really do anything else. And that's why I think Boo goes into C. There's not really much to talk about with Boo. And then there's Frieza, which I'll also put in C, right? He is the only character in the game that can defend a point without really being there by leaving Dodoria or Zarbon there. But then you're leaving Dodoria or Zarbon there to not be able to do damage somewhere else with somebody else. Or like with a teammate. You would have to be like using your third skill and or just your rush attack. And or just your ult. Which his ult's actually really good too. But like overall they made him slower too from the beta, and then that's about it. And then like early game it's pretty decent, but at the same time like he doesn't get enough of he doesn't the effectiveness isn't really good early game either. However, it's really better. It's really good late game, but at the same time everybody else has high levels late game. So then the AOE goes insane, hitting Zarbon, hitting Dodoria, killing them all the time. You going on cooldown, you're not being able to do anything at that point, right? So that's really Frieza's weakness, and you know, this is this is the technical part of the tier list. I hope y'all have a great day.